Right, do apologise. I think the landline, my landline went, and it knocks. I live out in the country, so every time my landline phone rings, it knocks out the internet for about 5 minutes. So I do apologise about that. So we've just been previously streaming on StreamYard. If anyone knows of any other platforms I can use, because I'm all for denying these corporations a lifeline, all right? Because this one's gonna be called Remedy. We're gonna talk about Remedy, the things that you can do as gorgeous men and women to remedy this situation, all right? That's what we're gonna put this live stream towards. The powers that you hold in your hands, okay? Let's do that. Let me just actually, can you see? Yeah, you can. You can see that, can't you? And you can still see me. So if you can just let me know, right, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to go on to the 1217 Magna Carta, and I want to see whether you can see that up on the back screen, all right? If you can, just give me a 5x5. So I'm going to do it now. Let me know if you still see me and you can still see that back screen. I think you can. I'm just going to check it on my phone. So you should see that screen up there in the background, right? But you should still see me. I'm just going to check on my thing. So we're going to be talking this morning about what it is that we can do, all right? The powers that we hold to sort this mess out. Okay? Yeah, you can. You can see the screen. I can certainly see the screen. And you'll probably be able to hear me as well. So yeah, that's all right. We can do that way. So you can see the screen at the back there. So if I want to play any bits and bobs, we'll do that. Right, okay, see, it's very small. That's what my missus says, Merv. That's what my missus says. Right, so what can we do to sort this mess out? So Primark have now got this system where it's a communistic system because of the COVID juice. They're all right about the COVID juice. And I'm not knocking any of these people. They're just following orders, and that's a very dangerous thing to do. But we have to say to ourselves as people, like, what can we do to remedy that? That's not to shop there. If you don't want to be subjected to Primark's communistic system that they've got in there, don't use it. How easy was that? How easy was that to sort that one out? Don't use it. If you don't want to use Lidl's and Aldi's system, how can you remedy that going to a supermarket with all these measures in? Well, if you can, grow your own foods, all right? Grow your own foods and then just go to your local shops. Because look, for years and years and years, we've seen all our local shops, and this is all by design, ladies and gentlemen, all by design, all right? The whole thing is done by design, right? Now, look, I'm sat here in my work here, and I'm broadcasting to the world. I don't care. If people don't like what I look like and they have a problem with watching my videos, go, oh, he's a mess. Who cares? My life's real, all right? My life is real every single minute of the day. I don't care what I look like. I don't care if I've got a wonky pair of glasses. If that offends you and you have to have a dig or something, like a lot of people like to do, they're not worth having in your life, people, because they're the ones that are playing with your heads. Oh, do I look good? Does my bum look big in this? What's all that about? Because whenever anyone gets into that kind of mentality, they're qualifying for themselves whether they're socially acceptable. Who cares? We come into the world naked, all right? I'll never forget watching Dr. Sebi years ago. Dr. Sebi, fantastic guy, sadly passed away. Health, wealth, and nutrition. He said he had a dream once of this black woman kept coming to him in the forest, and she was just completely naked, and he didn't get it. He didn't get why she was stood there naked having this vision, and then he realised it was because that's how we come into the world, and that's how we're truly be. And that's when we break down all these social barriers of the naked woman is nothing to be ashamed about. It's how we are in nature. But we've all been conditioned to like, well, I mean, I'm not suggesting we should all walk around in naked. No, but the point is It's the conditioning that we've been placed into, and I'm not prepared to go down that road. So grow as much food as you can. Get into some sort of local scheme where you might start bartering and doing bits and bobs. Whatever you can, use your labour and your energy and exchange things with people. That's one way you do it. Maybe shop online, maybe go whatever, I don't know, make your own clothes. I don't know. But we need to start doing things that we're not fueling this system that they're trying to pump into us and to make us live by. Sure, they have the right to set that system up, but we have the right not to participate. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can't be forced to take part in even this social system. Like the birth certificate, we all know that the birth certificate is a social contract. It's the contract that binds us all into the social world, right? But the difference is that I was born a week before this was filed. So the government operates on this. So the birth date for their contract is 5 days after that I come into the world, when I was born. No, I wasn't birthed, I was born. And we have the absolute right to walk away from that. There's nothing in law that says we have to participate. We don't have to be partakers in their system. We don't. So when we walk away from their system and let's all go to London and get our throats slit. No, thank you. I'm going to live in the private. I'm going to let the system that's evolved all this nastiness, I'm going to let that deal with it. I'm going to let them deal with it. They want to live in an hourglass. They want to live in this system. They've allowed all this to come. Let them deal with it. Don't put yourself up as sacrificial lambs. That's what the system wants now. It wants you to go out right, and it wants you to offer yourself up onto the altar. That's exactly what this satanic system is all about now. It's about you offering yourself up as a sacrificial lamb. I'm not going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I have a duty to all of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, all the kids of this country, to figure out another way. That's where we need to go. We need to walk a different path now. We have the absolute right to say to them, no, we don't want your contract. We don't want your laws. We don't want your nonsense. We're not operating in the land of fictions no more. I am a real thing. I was born to the world. All men are created equal. Bob's your uncle. We move on. But the powers that you have is unbelievable. Go shopping. Yeah. If they don't accept cash, just smile at them and leave the trolley there. All right, fill your trolley up, put it on the conveyor belt, and just before they scan the first item, excuse me, taking cash today? Oh, no. Oh, we've got a problem then. Is there anyone here you can talk to in the member of your staff here about taking cash? No, we're not taking cash now because of the COVID juice. Hang on a minute, you're just about to handle all the stuff that's coming through. If you think that in Primani, that a woman, a clicker that's clicking you into the store and you're sanitising your hands 1,000 times a day ain't doing you no harm, think again. And if you think that them spit guards now that they're putting up in front of these things are going to protect them from COVID juice, think again. It's not. It don't fucking work that way. A virus don't worry about a spit screen. Do you think a virus goes, oh, no, lads, fucking hell. We've got the COVID juice screen up here. We're not going to be able to penetrate that. Please, people, where's your heads at? It ain't happening. So this is the fuckery that's going on now. But you have the absolute right. Say it again, you're in Primani, yeah? Contact list, you got cash. So you fill up a basket with about 50 items, knickers, socks, whatever. You're not taking cash. Oh, yeah, I'll leave that there then. See you later. If 100 of you done that a day, they'll soon change their tune. They'll be opening them cash tills like you've got no tomorrow. Because it doesn't make sense. They're handling all the items that you've whacked on a conveyor belt. Yeah, they've got their spit screen, so you can't intercourse with people like you're normally supposed to do. And they say, oh, no, we can't take cash. It's got COVID juice on it. Oh, what about me bags of spuds and me tins of... Do you know how much you can get off a tin? They were saying a few years ago, if you remember, don't drink straight from Coke cans, yeah? Because they reckon that when they're in transport coming over, this, that, the other, that the rats are in the ships. And so you was told quite a few years ago, make sure that you wash your tin cans, right? If you have a can of Sprite, Fanta, these other cheap knockoff fizzy drinks, they put out a warning and said, make sure you clean it and sanitize it first before you put it to your lips, because if you do, there's a chance you're going to touch something that a rat's been on. Yeah? We live in a toxic world, ladies and gentlemen. We do live in a toxic world. And the toxicity It's a given. It ain't going to go away. It depends on your immune system, as whether you've got a strong immune system that's going to be able to deal with the stuff that's floating around there. A spit screen's not going to stop someone, a cashier or a checkout individual, catching COVID juice. It's certainly not. And the COVID juice is no worse than a common cold. Yeah, people are dying of it. Yeah, people die of the common flu each year. We didn't have all these nonsenses. Yeah, we didn't have all these nonsenses. Joni, hello, sweetheart. Are you a first timer, Joni? Oh, I hope you consider subscribing and pressing the bell button and notification for future podcasts and videos. So my previous podcast this morning was interrupted because I think my landline rang and it knocked the internet off. It wasn't anything that the social media platforms are doing to deplatform me. Certainly not here. I do seem to have a bit more freedom living in this communist country now, being able to spread my words through YouTube. It does seem to be a bit more of a fairer platform. Yesterday, scenes of London, absolute carnage. Vera, yes, I know Vera. I know, darling. Vera. Can't knock a bit of Vera. Beautiful. Thanks for joining. Stuart James, I meant when you deregister your birth certificate, how will it affect those things? I don't care. Just throw it back at them. My friend, quite a few years ago, returned the birth certificate and everything to the General Registration Office. And because the system operates in a constructive fraud, what happened was they wiped her off the computer in the HMRC buildings because the woman that she was having a dig with in the tax office started smiling. And my mate said, what are you smiling for? And she turned her computer screen around and showed my friend. And she said, you're not on our system. You've been removed. But she's still got all her benefits and stuff. They can't admit they're fraud, people. You've got to understand, right? This is a fraudulent document. And I'm going to tell the world, right, that all this is a fraud. But they can't admit to their fraud. So they have to carry on in the game. Because they can't come out and say, yeah, we all fucked you over 100 years ago and you're all our slaves. They can't do that. They can't. They can't admit to their fraud. They can't. They know it's a constructive fraud, but it's whether we choose to participate in that constructive fraud. That's the difference. Because we're a creation of God Almighty, right? Whether you like that or not, that's the truth. No one can argue with the fact that you're a creation of God. No one. Whether you believe in God or you don't, whether you're an atheist, a pacifist, whatever, it doesn't matter. You are a creation of the divine, and you have that divine spark in you, and you have the right to invoke that divinity, that God-given right. You all do. That's what I was playing that video of Alan Watts for. You don't realise how powerful and how beautiful you all are. But I need to try and help people understand and get an understanding that all this turning out in London and stuff ain't making no difference. People are dying. Yeah. Now, I see what happened yesterday in London, and I'm not too sure. I don't know. Unless anybody knows that guy that was murdered, and probably someone that I know will know that individual because of what I've been involved in for the last 10 years and a bit. If they witnessed that man die and have his throat slit, well, yesterday would have lit a fuse for a war. You can't have scenes like that in a democracy because that's a failed democracy. A democracy works when peace is here. Does that make sense to you people? All right. If you live in a good democratic thing where everyone's equal, you don't have this stuff happening. Does that make sense? When you get stuff like yesterday happening, all the stuff that's been going on last few years, it means it's failed, ladies and gentlemen. It means it is not working according to how it should do. All right. So out of order comes chaos. And today will be worse. I promise you, as God is my witness, that the scenes today in London will be worse than yesterday, because this is all amp. It's all amplification of the day before, the week before. It's getting bigger and noisier and noisier and noisier. So I suggest to people, if these rioters and people that have no respect of life wish to go and hurt people, let the system deal with it. There's no point you turn out. If they're going to go and pull statues down, let them pull them down. We can always put them back up. Does that make sense? It's just a bit of metal. If after all this chaos and idiocy is over, you can put all your statues back up. If you ever get back to being a decent people again, okay? There's a slim chance that we won't ever make that happen, actually, with what's going on. there is a chance that we might never get back to being a decent people again, because we live in a nation where it's just greed, 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 money, money, money. No one's paying attention. Well, let me tell you something now. When people ain't going to be able to go on their budget holidays next year and the missus can get her tits out on the beach in Benidorm for a week and get them tanned up, and there's nothing finer than that for you ladies. I know you like that liberation. It's a beautiful thing. But once you start realising all what's been rolled back as the sun, yeah, we're rolling back the pride, we're rolling. I took an elephant in there once. I said, roll that foreskin back. Go on, I dare you. You can't do it. It's too big. So once you realise just exactly what it is that you've lost, the more every day goes on with this Primark, these supermarkets, the loss of freedoms, every day that more and more of this gets taken away from everyone, they're going to realise. They're going to realise with real eyes what it is that they've lost, and they're going to want to do something about it. But the system actually has a plan of order out of chaos, okay? George Soros and all these others, this is their end game. They're showing their hands. Soros's, the Rothschilds, they're showing their hands. They're out in full view. They're absolutely out in full view right now. And it's whether or not you're going to offer yourself up as a sacrificial lamb. I suggest you don't. I suggest that the system was put there in place and you pay your council taxes just for that very reason, that the police take care of the statues and the police take care of the kids, and Mrs. Smith gets home with her shopping and no harm comes to her. I know that's a pipe dream, but that's exactly what they were set up for. So let them do their job. Let them take what's coming. Let them put on all their riot gear and get their weapons out and their anal beads, and let them face these knife-wielding thugs. Let them face it. We need to be a bit smarter, ladies and gentlemen. We need to take back our power as individuals. And then once we do that as all individuals, we can carve a new future for this country. Now, people like myself and Danny Thomas Mullins and Jesus Jones and all you beautiful, you are all here right now to do exactly this. You are all here right now to carve out a new future for humanity. Now, if there has to be a separation in humanity and the good ones go that way and the dark shit goes and burns, let it happen. Don't fight it. Because if you're pure and you come from a good consciousness, you'll realise that all this stuff that's going on up in London is not good. They want you to offer yourself up as a sacrificial lamb right now. That's what the devil wants. He wants you to offer yourself up on the altar. Don't do it. Don't do it, because you are all people of consciousness. I've spoke to Danny Mullins quite a bit the last few weeks, and the man is right on it. He's proper, because he's educated himself, he's wise, he knows the score, he knows how the system works. And once you know how the system works, it can't beat you anymore, because you level out with it, okay? When a copper pulls you over, date of birth, what you on about? What do you want? The date I was born, or do you want the date of birth? What do you want? What contract are we operating under here, Constable? You're going to bamboozle him. He's going to have to go back to his car. Well, you're on the public roads. No, I'm not. I'm on the highways, the Queen's highways. The Queen said that I must be given safe passage wherever I go. You don't have a freedom to travel, and that's the biggest issue we have: is freedom of travel. You're not free to travel. Travel's the most expensive thing you'll ever have in your life. Yeah, you can't travel to Australia without it costing you an absolute arm and a leg. You can't travel down the road without having an MOT, a document, this, that, the other. Well, that only applies to that birth certificate contract. It doesn't apply to a living, breathing, God-given soul. It doesn't apply to the date you was born. I was born on the 14th of September, 1967. I know many of you are going, this man's our old? What? Really? Sure, can't be. But this contract didn't come into force until the 19th. That didn't come into force until the 19th. So we've got two positions here. We've got the living man that was born on the 14th that come into the world. God kicked him into this world, and so you go into the world and have a lovely experience. Well, I question that nowadays. Or we're talking about the contract that was created 5 days later. And some people don't have a birth certificate for a month or two after they're born. So there's two separate things here. You've got God's kingdom and you've got the fictional system. What are you going to live in? Yeah? What are you going to live in? I would have argued 1980. I've got 2 different birth certs, adoption made to happen. It's still part of the fictional system. It's still part. You can't. You're either operating in God's kingdom and outside that system, or you're still operating in it. You got 2 choices. All right. Now, these documents are very powerful. I'm going to be serving these up. I'm not going to be going to the courts. I'm going to be using it by special delivery. Special delivery is a very, very powerful medium, because once they've signed for it, they've received it, and it's all understood, because special delivery is very powerful. It's an ecclesiastical deed poll, evidence of life, and a copy of the birth certificate for their reference, and that's going into the court. So they won't be making no more presumptions on my life. They will not be administrating my worldly affairs and worldly estate no more. And that's all that the police do. They operate on a trust. They operate in the world of fiction. But now they've got guns on their holsters. People, I tell you, I hope you're paying attention. So we have to decide, we have to carve something new. It's like Moses has got to stick his rod in at the seas, part the seas, and we've got to get through and get out of Egypt. Because trust me, we are fucking firmly fixed in Egypt right now. And they will bring in order out of chaos. They will. Live in trust is where it's at. Absolutely right, Jesus Jones. Actually, if you can give me your number or your messaging service on Facebook or whatever medium, or Zoom, whatever it is you use, maybe we can have a chat, because I've been watching your comments for the last few months and you make a lot of sense and you're a very good soul. You need the court stamp upon it, bro. Okay, all right. Well, I'll go down there. Love and light, and have a nice day. No notifications for you the last couple of days, mate. Nothing I'm doing. Maybe it's because I've been doing through StreamYard and Be Live TV. But anyway, we're here now. So nice to see you, love and light. Love it to see. I hope you've subscribed. I hope you press that bell button at the end of the thing there. Ding it up and you'll get future notifications come up straight away. And give us a thumbs up. I always like one of them. Give me a thumbs up. It'd be lovely. It makes this thing roll whole smoother, and we get more subscribers, and we're going to grow. This is my channel, is your channel. All right. This is all live. Everything that we're doing here, you are involved. Absolutely 100%. And I know many of you in here personally as well, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the power that we hold in here is amazing. It's epic, but we give it away so cheaply. We really do give it away so cheaply. Well, I'm not giving it away cheaply no more. I ain't signing no more contracts with this government. Never, ever, ever will I walk around with a leader, because a leader is someone that walks around. You've got a leash on your neck, and he's taking you for a walk around the park so you can cock your leg up against a tree and have a quick piddle. Come and then he gives you a little tug on the neck collar. Oh, I don't want to go, but I am going. Exactly right. You've got leashes. That's why you have a leader, because you've all got leashes around your neck and he's taking you around the park. We've got to come out of that mentality. We really, really, really have. Recorded delivery for them with code. Yeah. I think recorded delivery's got a real special delivery is the highest form of postal service. But I will. I'm just scared I'm going to get down the courts and all these COVID juice people are going to come flying at me and tell me, stand there, sanitise your bumhole. I don't want to. I'm quite happy with a little bit of dirt around me on my hands, you know what I mean? I'm quite happy rolling around in the dirt. I'm out in the fields all the time, mucking out, building. I've always got sand and cement and whatever, you know. If in my life, to get to 53, having consumed all the things I've consumed in over the years, taking out Asbestolux flue systems on water heaters, fucking hell, let me tell you, I've abused it. I have abused it, but it's still fit. It still works. I still work out. I've still got big guns. I'm like living the dream. I'm working on the 12 pack now. So I am working on these things, and I have to keep my. So if I'm not dead already with the things I've been doing, look how bent up my hands are with all the stuff I've done, all the grips I've done over the years. It don't make sense. If I ever went on a building site and worried about catching a virus, or I'd never get anything done in my life. Now, I've never walked in fear. Never. I don't get up in the morning and think, oh, fucking hell, the COVID's out there. It don't even enter my brain. I walk around, I see people acting all weird. Hello, mate. Oh, can't talk to you. No, hello. I ain't talking to you. You might have the COVID. It's not me. I would rather walk down the street, see someone dying of COVID juice and spurting blood or whatever. I would have to go and help. I would have to try and save my brother or sister. That's what's built in me. I would care not about my own life. I wouldn't. I never have done. I've never ever cared about my life in one iota. I would rather serve other people.